Use the pause button on your player if you need longer to read the following screens, and the play button to continue. In this movie tutorial, look at how to write essay responses in the IELTS Academic Task 2 writing. The first part looks at the important points to look for in the task. The second part shows a model task response, and the third part provides response comments. Before you start, we also have a sheet with the task image and the model response. To download the sheet, click the link below the movie. The Community Involvement Tutorial movie is from our IELTS Academic Task 2 essay ebook. You can find all 15 academic writing tutorials and the IELTS Academic Module ebook at www.myenglishexam.com/books. The link is also on the printable handout for this movie. Here is a writing task. It is sad that many people today are only concerned about their personal happiness and do not care about the community in which they live. To what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? Give reasons for your answer and include any relevant examples from your knowledge and experience. In many ways, this is a difficult IELTS essay because it is very open, meaning that you can talk about personal happiness in many ways and define attitudes towards community in a variety of ways. The important point is that you must deal with both of the elements, personal happiness and community, and give some indication about whether you believe this is indeed true of many people. It is likely that you will spend some time exploring what personal happiness means, and you could compare people's attitudes towards personal happiness today and in the past. Likewise, you could contrast community today with community in the past. This task is probably a good opportunity to use many examples, drawing on your own experience or your own circle of friends. Explore the very strong response, paying attention to the arguments and paragraphs that are used, and learn from the commentary on the response about the range of vocabulary and the complexity of language that is required to obtain a high band for this task. Now listen to and read each of the paragraphs in the model response.
On the surface, it does appear that people are less community-minded than they were in the past, and are more concerned about themselves and their immediate families, tending to focus on acquiring material goods for their personal happiness and gratification. However, I have also noted many instances where community commitment appears to be strengthening among many people as well. Rapid economic, demographic, and cultural changes probably explain many of these contradictory trends in recent years. In my country, many individuals and families are materially better off than they were a couple of decades ago. Wages are higher and consumer goods are cheaper, and in many more families, both spouses are working. On average, people are working much longer hours to earn more and more money than they did in the past. What time these people with high disposable income have off is often spent in shopping malls, or simply making use of the goods they buy, such as plasma TVs. This desire to acquire the latest fashions and electronic goods is often fueled by peer pressure and commercial advertising. Because of these pressures, they do not seem to have the time to engage with their local communities. On the other hand, there are also a growing number of people who have more time on their hands than they once had. The percentage of people who can only get part-time work has increased in recent years because of economic changes, as has the number of retired people because of demographic changes. Often these types of people will involve themselves in community work, charities, and voluntary work to keep active and satisfy a need to be useful and relevant in society. I believe that compared to the past, there is an imbalance between people who have too little time to spare because of longer working hours and the desire to use their money on themselves, and another expanding group with more time on their hands and who commit themselves to helping others and maintaining a sense of community, which would have otherwise been lost. Whether this imbalance is fair and equitable is another question.
Learn the expression on the surface, which means here without investigating too closely. Note the many collocations: immediate families, material goods, personal happiness and gratification, community commitment, contradictory trends, and the extended phrase rapid economic, demographic and cultural changes, which immediately will cause the examiner to pay attention. Note a central topic is contained in one paragraph, namely increased wealth causing a decline in a sense of community. Therefore, they and their refer to the subject of the first sentence, many individual and families. Repetition is avoided by parallel phrasing. People with high disposable income reiterates the initial description, materially better off. Again, note a central topic is contained in one paragraph, namely, more people have more time. Note the neat parallelism of economic changes, demographic changes, and the listing of ideas that are similar: community work, charities, and voluntary work. A useful technique illustrated here is to conclude by stating your view, but also to indicate that the topic also needs looking at from another viewpoint, namely, in this case, whether the situation is fair and equitable. You can get more help with your IELTS and our ebooks from myenglishexam.com.